Good evening, everybody. We are in Midtown Manhattan tonight, and we are going to be talking about one volatile day on Wall Street. I think in the S&P 500, we almost had a 200-point intraday swing, which we will be talking about today. So just give me one more second, and then we will be on our way. I just have to put away my laptop here. Just getting out of work. Hey, Deborah J is here. Vinny Castellano, Joey. What's going on, Joey? I see Sally. I see Sarah G. Tony Cortez. What's up, everybody? Jonathan Richards. Good to see you, as always. Hope everybody enjoyed their Monday so far. Joe Hernandez says hi, Tom, and welcome back to New York City. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate you. Mets fan says, how was the Five Guys burger? So it was called Five Napkin Burger, and it was pretty good. It wasn't that bad. You know, I had to go out with a couple of clients, which was good. It was a very good day overall, very positive. Joe C says hi, Dante Rose, Jonathan Richards, Tony Cortez, Otto is here, Deborah. What's up, everybody? Mary Kay and Paul Greenwell. So we're starting the stream off from 45th Street and 6th Avenue, right outside of my old office, Marshall McLennan building. And it was a crazy, crazy volatile day on Wall Street. I mean, if you opened up your laptop or were looking at any of the major indices today, the indices were down big, and I mean big time. At some points of the day, the S&P 500 was down almost 3%. Same thing with the NASDAQ, but towards the end of the day, we pretty much rallied across the board and actually closed positive for the day. So there was some late day action, some late day buying. So we'll talk about that tonight. Lena Sandoval says hi, Tom and everybody. How are you, Lena Sandoval? Good to see you, Lena. Marty Lewis says hello, Tom. Nice to see you, but surprised tonight. Yeah, Marty Lewis, I'm surprised too, but I thought I would get a quick stream in. I just came back from dinner with some clients, which was all good. Brandy says, hey there, Tom. What's up, Brandy? Oscar V says, New York is a factory of millionaires, says Oscar V. Very, very cool. Very cool. So we're going to be walking uptown tonight. Hey, I see the ABX girl says hi. Dominique Davis says hello, Tom. Good to see you, Dominique. Yeah, Joe Hernandez, it was an amazing day in the market today. Crazy. So pretty much during the blunt of this sell-off, you know, as we like to talk about a lot, you know, it's very risky to just start buying any random thing, right? That's why we want to wait for a follow-through day. But if you do have a retirement account, and within your retirement account you own index funds that, let's say, track the S&P 500 or something like that, I think today was a pretty good day just to deploy some capital. Maybe if you have a long-term time horizon in your retirement accounts, let's say anything between 20 to 30 years. So I bought a sizable portion in one of my retirement accounts, a Vanguard index fund I bought today. Added to position. Hey, Sunshine After Rain says hi, Tom and chat. Hey, Sunshine, good to see you. Nice Guy says good evening, everybody. Good to see you, Nice Guy. We have our pals joining us from Russia. Welcome, everybody from Russia. Who else we have? Hunter Butler says, what did you have for dinner, Tom? I see Jetstar says, hello, Tom, how are you? So Hunter Butler, I went out to dinner with some clients. We went to a burger place called Five Napkin Burger. It wasn't bad. It was pretty good. Even after the chat, we were talking about it yesterday. The chat was really hammering on it. You guys supposedly don't really like it, but it was pretty good. You know, it wasn't the greatest place, but it was a solid place nonetheless. Wow, it's negative 49 degrees in Russia. My God, that's too cold. Hey, Penelope is here. Good to see you, Penelope. Penelope is joining us from the one and only Tennessee. Good to see you. So I apologize for the wind once again. I do not have the mic. Hey, Everclear 1102 says I transferred everything out of the S&P 500 index fund at the end of the day, going to wait things out. Yeah, so today I didn't do any buying in my long-short portfolio, right? So in my actively managed portfolio, I didn't do any buying. But in my long-term retirement accounts, I added to my S&P 500 index fund 2 times today. The S&P was down about 2% and then down 3%. I added a little bit more just for my long-term retirement accounts because I'm not going to touch these things for another 30 or 40 years anyway. But into the close, we had a rip-roaring rally. I mean, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, even the Dow was catching a pretty nice bid into the end of the day. So we'll see if the rally can be sustained. Although it's good to note that all of the major indices are still below their 200-day moving average, so we are not out of the woods yet. But today was very encouraging day. Hey, Sarah G is here. How are you, Sarah? Moffatone says, New York is hurting. Marty Lewis says, did you have a burger? And was it good? There's one on 9th Avenue in the lower 40s. So Marty Lewis, that's actually the exact location where we went. We went to the 5 Napkin Burger place. I think it was on 42nd, what was it? I think it was 43rd, I want to say 43rd and 8th. But it was good, it was really good. So we are outside of the Fox building here, or more specifically, the News Corporation. And News Corporation owns some subsidiaries such as Investors Business Daily, the Wall Street Journal, Barron's. As you can see, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, 34,364. The NASDAQ closed at 13,855. And the S&P 500 rallying into the end of the day at 4,410. So a nice rally on Wall Street, but man, was it a volatile day. It was crazy. Indices were getting clocked all throughout the morning, but we had a nice rally towards the end of the day. Hey, photos from around New York. Good to see you. It says, how many napkins did you use? I only had to use 4. But good to see your photos. Gigi NYC says, good evening, everybody. What's up, Gigi? Hope you had a good day today. Happy Monday, everybody. The Swan says hi, Tom and all. What's up, the Swan? Hey, Cheryl says, hi, I am new to the channel. What is it about? Are you a Wall Street guy? So, Cheryl, we live stream around New York City and about anything else. We don't really have specific topics, but Monday through Friday, we usually have a specific topic of discussion. Today is going to be a little bit of an anomaly because I didn't have time to prepare. I had a busy day, meetings pretty much all day, and then I was out to dinner with some clients, which just got released, but it was a good day nonetheless. Hey, Chris Mills is in the chat, says hi, Tom, it's cold. Indeed, it is cold. Deborah J says hi to all mods and everybody. Good to see you, Deborah J. Sarah G. Yeah, Judy says it was a roller coaster ride on Wall Street today. Ian says, wow, volume day. Yeah, it was a wild one. Hey, Carol says hi, Tom. What's up, Carol? Cheryl says thanks very much. Well, Cheryl, it's good to have you here. Hey, NNB045 says, Tom, I got your message yesterday. Thank you. Yeah, sorry if I was a little bit late to replying to your message, NNB045, but I've been a little bit busy, but that is one of my New Year's resolutions, to be a little bit more prompt to responding to messages. The ABX girl says futures are up a little. So ABX girl, last time I checked the E-mini futures contract for the S&P was actually down a couple points, but we'll see how things play out. Hey, Dino is here, says, Tom, do you expect markets to fluctuate up and down with the uncertainty and speculation over potential war with Russia and Ukraine? So I think it's going to continue to be volatile throughout earnings season. I think that earnings will will actually play more of a role than this quote-unquote war with Russia, because I think that's pretty much a non-event. I think the probability of actually going to war with Russia is pretty much zero, in my view. I could be wrong, but that is just my opinion. But Dino, today, you know, and as I was going to write about it in my Behind the Street newsletter, when markets are below their 200-day moving average, if you're managing a long-short portfolio, it's only wise to buy on a follow-through day. And we'll talk about what that means. But in your long-term retirement accounts that you're not going to touch for 20, 30 years, I think anytime the market is down significantly, I think it's pretty good to, you know, add a little bit to an index fund. So that's what I did today. I bought more of my Vanguard S&P 500 index fund, which is located in a tax-deferred retirement account. Hey, Christian Felix says, hey everybody, what's up, Christian? We are outside of the Radio City Music Hall where they filmed The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. Deborah Jace is so pretty. Online says, Tom, what's your best advice for the average person to understand finance like you do? So it's all about repetition, right? You know, it's all about the hours you spend, you know, studying it. So what I would do is I would just read as much as possible about it, right? And it's very easy. There's so many resources that you could turn to, one of which being this building right here. This is the News Corporation building, and they own the Wall Street Journal, Investors Business Daily, and Barron's. Those three resources, if you can just read them, take 20 minutes out of your day, and just read one article from each of those newspapers, you're going to start to understand core concepts of financial markets. And this can all be free. I mean, if you walk into your 7-Eleven or your corner store, there's probably going to be newspapers that nobody reads. I would just pick one up and start reading it. Hey, Daryl's here, says good evening from Chicago, Illinois. Hey, Daryl, hope you're doing well. And another book I would read is Common Stocks and Uncommon Profits by Phil Fisher, and Common Sense Investing by Jack Bogle. Two very good books. Moffatone says, Tom, what camera is that on your phone? So we are using an iPhone 11. iPhone 11. Hey, Rebecca B says, Tom, what are those newspapers again? So I would personally recommend Investors Business Daily. So if you just Google Investors Business Daily, Barron's, Barrons, and then the Wall Street Journal. Because what you want to do is with the financial read about, but you can familiarize yourself with the economy, understanding, you know, companies' earnings and things like that. Just core basics of economics. Hey, Melee is here, says hello and good evening, Tom. What is up, Melee? I see Laura M. Good to see you. The one and only British Gray joining us from Tampa, Florida. How are you, British Gray? Oscar V says waiting for another 2008. What's up, Oscar? Penelope, hope you're feeling better. Good to see you, Rebecca B. Cheryl says, how do we get your newsletter? So the newsletter is free. If you type !news, N-E-W-S, in the chat, Nightbot will drop a link to the Behind the Street newsletter. All you have to do is punch in your email address and you will receive it for free. Hey, Horatio Snipes is here. Says, I'm in my office at work enjoying this beautiful live stream. Good to see you, Horatio Snipes. It is a blustery, cold day in New York. We are outside 30 Rock, Rockefeller Center. Hey, Russ says, best YouTube I enjoy watching. What's up, Russ? Hope you had a good Monday. Jonathan C says, hello, Tom. What is up, Jonathan? The wind is picking up. British Gray says, I am doing good, Tom. How about yourself? I'm doing good. It was a busy day. I had to give a couple of presentations to some clients. And then we went out to dinner in the city. was a good time, good day. Got a lot accomplished. Hey, Just Jennifer says, Tom, when do you head back to Florida? Well, so it's probably going to be about a week. I'm probably going to need to be here for about 1 week. So now we're looking at Radio City Music Hall. Hey, Tortellini says, good evening. Bernard Friedman says, hey, I'm obsessed with New York and how beautiful it looks. What's up, Bernard? Good to see you. I see Ken Kramer. What's up, Ken? So we're crossing 6th Avenue, or Avenue of the Americas. We're headed east. Usually we start the stream off right around 34th Street, but tonight, since I had a couple meetings, we started it off by the Marshall McLennan building. Oscar V says, Miami will never be New York. Miami will never be New York. Good to see you, Ken Kramer. Good to see you, Oscar. Ken Kramer says, crazy day on Wall Street. Yeah, Ken, I was watching the futures all day. I mean, the S&P and the NASDAQ were both down at 1.3%. But right around power hour, which is right around 3 o'clock, all the major indices rallied and actually closed positive for the day. Juan Bueno says, hello, Tom. New subscriber to your channel. Hey, Juan. Thank you for being here, Juan, and I hope you had a good Monday. So if you're managing a long-short portfolio or actively managing a portfolio, even though today was tempting to buy, it's best not to buy unless you have a follow-through day. But if you have a longer-term time horizon in like a retirement account, I think it's, I added to my S&P 500 index fund that's in my retirement account today just because stocks were getting clocked. I mean, these things were getting hammered. So the S&P was down 3%. I was like, all right, I'm going to put some cash to work in my retirement account. Dino says New York will never be Miami. I hope not. Let's keep Miami the way it is, and let's keep New York the way it is, please. Hey, Ruby Falcone says, good chilly evening, Tom, mods and all. What's up, Ruby? Good to see you. Falcon Spaces Roth IRA, indeed, yes. So I have a Roth IRA, and anytime you buy particular stocks or bonds or anything in a Roth IRA, it will grow tax-free. So once you turn 65, you can withdraw your cash, and you don't have to pay tax. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people say that, but, I know people, that live in Miami that are making fortunes. So it just depends on what kind of line of work you're in. But there's people that are making fortunes anywhere. You could be in Bismarck, North Dakota. You could be in Birmingham, Alabama, and you can make a fortune. Doesn't matter where you are. Just depends on what vertical you're in. Hey, Kevin Sunderland says, hey, Tom, I added Tesla and Salesforce today. What's up, Kevin? Yeah, Kevin, what do you think about today? I mean, wild ride on the street. 200-point intraday swing on the S&P. So I didn't add any stocks in my managed account, but my retirement account, I added some money to my S&P 500 index fund. This market could still go lower, so I'm waiting for a follow-through day in order to buy. But we are right now standing here, Rockefeller Center. They still have the skating rink up, but they did take down the Christmas tree. Hey, Silvio's here from Brazil. What's up, Silvia? Good to see you. Sanjib says, hi, Tom, in Montreal Metro Card Opus. What's going on? Good to see you. Hey, Frank says, hey, Tom, how's it going tonight, bro? It's going good, a little cold, but the city's looking beautiful tonight because there's not too many people. Kevin Sunderland says, didn't feel like total market capitulation, but those names felt so beat up. Yeah, so Kevin, check out the put to call ratio. So in this week's Behind the Street newsletter, I'm going to detail the put to call ratio, sort of what I like to look for. But you're right, I don't think we're seeing max pain just yet. You know, if we look at historical trends, I think the PE ratio on the S&P and the NASDAQ still need to come down a little bit. But we'll see the action tomorrow. But I hope everybody had a good Monday, good start to the week. Hey, Paul says no snow tonight. You know, Paul, I was checking the weather and it says it's supposed to start snowing right now. But I don't know how true that's going to be. Hey, Bit of Wander says sup. What is up, Bit of Wander? Good to see you. Hey, Tanya S says, hey, Tom, do you think the Russia and Ukraine situation will have an effect on inflation? I don't think so. You know, I've always held the view that I really don't think that this whole Russia situation is going to unravel the way a lot of people think. I think it's going to be a big non-issue. But then again, I could be wrong. You know, I'm not an expert in foreign policy, but I think this is just another dog and pony show to get everybody riled up. Hey, Oscar V says, we were in the high 40s this morning in Miami. Dude, that is freezing. That is freezing, man. Hey, Bonnie Hudson says, hey, Tom, good to see you on. I thought you wouldn't be on tonight, but you are. Yeah, so originally I wasn't going to stream tonight, but the dinner ended early because a lot of people wanted to go home before the snow. But it was a good day, so I thought I would do a quick stream for everybody. As we are here, Rockefeller Center, we still got the Christmas tree up. I mean, not the Christmas tree, the skating rink. Apologize. Oh, check these out. So I guess this is just like a little cabin where people can sit down, hang out. joint. So Ruby, we went to 5 Napkin Burger, and to be honest, it wasn't bad. It was actually pretty good. I know everybody in the chat was really hammering on it, but I thought it was pretty good. Hey, Paul. Oops, sorry, I'm having a bunch of people call me right now. Yeah, no problem. No problem, Paul. Hey, Rob says, did you watch the Buffalo Bills game yesterday and the Chiefs? So I didn't get a chance to watch it because I was streaming. But once I stopped streaming, I did catch the very, very end. Hey, Lost in the Curve says lumber prices on the rise again. Canada is having transportation issues and insect infestation of timber. That's not good. Well, Lost in the Curve, I think that's one of the reasons why we're continuing to see single-family homes get bid up. Because the cost of building a new home is just getting so egregiously expensive. So now we are walking northbound on 5th Avenue. Edson is here. It's nice to see you again, Tom. What's up, Edson? Hope you're well. Hey, Patty Benty says hi. Always a pleasure to see you. What's up, Patty? Oop, you guys see that? You guys see that? I think it's a little bit of snow coming down. Jonathan Francis, fuel is also on the rise again. Hey, Daniel's here, says good evening. It's 10:10 a.m. in Malaysia. What is going on? Marius says, what about precious metals? Ooh, I think it's snowing out, guys. So one of the things that was interesting to me about gold specifically, and I don't really invest in the gold, but if you look at ticker symbol GLD, take a look at ticker symbol GLD on a monthly time frame, and that has to be the largest, most perfect cup and handle pattern I've ever seen in my life. And I'm not really a technical analyst, but you know, if we crack the highs on gold, I'm definitely going to be buying a position. But as long as we have to crack those highs. Hey, Deborah J says, yep, it is snowing. So we're looking at St. Patrick's Cathedral here. Beautiful looking church. What do you guys think? Thumbs up, thumbs down on St. Patrick's? What do we got? Hey, running at altitude says, how do you see impact of loan originations with rising interest rates this year? So running at altitude, we actually had got a little bit of a look into that already when we were talking about the financial earnings of all the major financials. So JP Morgan, a lot of the banks, and loan originations were actually up. Loan originations came in very, very strong. And there was even some signaling from Jamie Dimon, which is the CEO of JP Morgan Chase. And he said that loan originations would have been up even more if it wasn't for the shortage of housing supply. Ian says, why don't you buy gold now, Tom? I'm just not a big commodities guy. I did start a position, a very, very, very small position in physical silver, just as a long-term hedge, because obviously precious metals, things like that, these are anti-debt units, and I think it's probably wise to at least have some exposure to anti-debt units. Jonathan Francis, New York took in over 600 million first 2 weeks of sports betting. Yeah, that's definitely going to be an interesting trend to follow. But we're going to walk further uptown, and I think the snow is just starting to fall, so. Hey, Everclear 1102 says, Tom, can you discuss the flow? Can you discuss the follow-through day? What do we need to look for and how long? So Everclear, I was gonna link it in the description with the Nightbot, but if you go on, because I really, it's very hard for me to explain it without showing you like an infographic chart. So Everclear, if you want to pull up another page and type in Investors Business Daily follow through day, you could watch the YouTube video on what a follow through day is, how do you identify it. But essentially, it's when the market rallies on greater than average volume over the previous day's high or low. Okay? And not all follow-through days work, but no major bull market has ever started without a follow-through day. Right? So the percentage is usually about 1/3 of the follow-through days fail. So if you're managing a long-short portfolio, one of the things that's good to do is pick 5 stocks, like the top 5 stocks that have the highest earnings growth, the highest revenue growth, return on equity, pre-tax and after-tax margins, like the cream of the crop in terms of a company. And when we get a follow-through day, you should probably buy at least 4 or 5. But if those follow-through days fail, you got to cut your losses and then wait for another follow-through day. But the way I like to sort of explain it, if you're in a longer-term retirement account and you own a lot of index funds, on days like today, I think it's probably wise to at least deploy a little bit of cash. So I'm not sure if you guys could see it, but I think there's a little bit of snow coming down a little bit. I'll try to give you a look from this angle. I think you may be able to see it a little bit better. Hey, Disney cast members here. What's up, Disney? Hope you're well. Disney cast member, how is everything in upstate New York? What's up, Kyle? I see Kyle here. Good to see you. Bit of wander, good to see you. 48 is very warm and humid here, Tom. And I want thunderstorms here tonight. 48 is from New Zealand. Hey, Sally's here. It's a beautiful view. What's up, Sally? ADG says, how cold is it? I think it's probably about 28 degrees out. Buy the book is here. Because the realtor told me that the interest rates are expected to increase 4 times this year. Yeah, well, the Federal Reserve is signaling that they may raise rates right about 5 times. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that they're going to raise rates in March of 2022, but they're probably only going to raise rates 2 times this year. But speaking of Wall Street, this building right here is Jefferies, a major financial firm on Wall Street. This black building right there, the Jefferies building. And the snow is just coming down. Kyle says 28 degrees, Burr, that's cold. Miss Brown Eyes says it's 59 degrees here in California. Welcome to all of our pals in California. MJD Costa. MJD Costa, good to see you. Says hi. So speaking of earnings season on Wall Street, we have Microsoft reporting earnings this week. And it's going to be very important to really pay attention to Microsoft because they just announced over a $70 billion deal to acquire Activision Blizzard. And also, we really want to check up and see how their Microsoft Azure cloud unit is performing in comparison to Amazon AWS and the like. That, guys, is the feds are going to have to manage their rate, or manage the rise of interest rates carefully, but they will go up. Yeah, I agree with you, that guy. I agree with you there. I mean, even if the Fed raises rates 2 times, it's not going to do anything to help out fighting inflation. It's just going to be like a virtue signaling event to the market. Wow, look at how beautiful it looks inside here. Let me try to zoom in for you guys. Could you imagine sitting in there? It's snowing outside in New York, but you're hanging out in here. Online says, Tom, is all the inflation talk as serious as it sounds? Is it a common phenomenon or is it historical? Well, I think inflation is serious, right? Because inflation really impacts people that are lower class and middle class, because there's something called the hurdle rate, right? And if you're rich and you own a lot of assets, you know, you are going to do okay. You're going to be okay during an inflationary environment, because times when prices are rising, you know, everything goes up. The prices of equities, the prices of real estate, and the vast majority of people who own assets in this country are the wealthy. So even though the cost of food, gasoline, other commodities are going up, you know, their assets that they own are going up even more. So their hurdle rate is going to be a little bit easier to beat as opposed to somebody who doesn't own any assets. Take a look at how beautiful it looks in here, everybody. That's one of my favorite buildings. It looks awesome in there. So this is the University Club. Big bucks in here. Yeah, this building is where, you know, Ruby Falcone, Sunshine After Rain, and Lady O. This is where they hang out during the weekends, right here. I mean, the architecture in there is absolutely stunning. I mean, what I would love to do is sit there, hang out in this room and just read a good book, hang out, because it just looks amazing in there. You know what it reminds me of, everybody? It reminds me of the Morgan Library. Has anybody in the chat ever been to the Morgan Library in New York? If you haven't, you gotta go. It's one of the most amazing places you've ever been. GGNYC is gorgeous and lucky people. Hey, everybody, we got shot by Scott. What's up, Scott? Scott, it's snowing here today. Solo 401, what is up? Deja Vu says betting is in instant, unlike long-term investment. Soho guy, what is going on? Good to see you. Deborah J says it is amazing. Sabrina Fair is here. Ruby Falcone says you are welcome here anytime, Tom. Ruby, you got to invite the chat. We'll have a Walks on Wall Street stream. Michael says, read a Jim Cramer book. Bit of Wander says, we could sip brandy and talk about our railroad companies. Funny. Two Wheel Freedom says, looks like the type of place where you smoke expensive cigars and drink fine wine. Marty Lewis says, yes, I've been to the Morgan Library. Very nice. Been to expositions and a couple of concerts. Yeah, Marty Lewis, it's beautiful in there. Really, really beautiful in the Morgan Library. Everybody, we see Bits Mag TV joining us. What is going on? Hope you're well. We are walking northbound on 5th Avenue. And it is snowing. And right in front of us is the Trump Tower. Hey, Razzle Dazzle 786 is here. Says, hi, Tom and friends. I am Cali born and raised. It's going to be difficult to adjust to the snow. Well, we got some snow tonight. It's a good day to adjust. Hey, Oscar Diaz says, hey, Tom, how is the issue with the Ukraine and Russia affecting the world economy? I continue to say the same thing. I really don't think that it's going to be that big of an issue. But again, I could be wrong. Could be wrong, but in my opinion, I do not think there's going to be any major issue with Russia and Ukraine. But that is just my view. But I could be wrong. I'm not a foreign policy expert. So right behind the Trump Tower, we could see 432 Park Avenue, which is one of the newest additions to Billionaires Row. And I believe there is a current apartment being sold for $182 million in this building right here. James Davidson says, hello, Tom. I see that you're in New York and we might be getting a very big snowstorm here. I'm in central New Jersey and we may have it down here just as bad. Wow. Well, let's hope not. I'm not a big fan of the snow at all. Justin McLaren says, my friend Perp used to live in the Trump Tower. He trades stocks. Awesome, dude. Yeah, I think Cristiano Ronaldo also lived in this building as well. Ricky Ticky says, Tom, why are you in New York City? Well, number one, I'm from New York, so I frequent here a lot. And number two, I have a lot of business meetings this week. So just taking out some clients. Animal DL says, hi, Tom. I'm on the train and watching your stream. Hey, get home safe. And I hope your train ride is very good. Please get home safe, my friend. Sarah G says, that's great. Disney cast member says, love the snow. Andrea A says, Russia, Ukraine is being hyped up by politicians who are desperate for war. Agreed. Should I say it? All right, we'll say it. Who cares? I was on Twitter today for a brief second, and I saw probably one of the most funny memes I've ever seen in my life. And it was a meme of a stick figure. So it was one of those memes, the guy, he was a stick figure guy, right? So this guy was a stick figure. He was holding a stick, and he was poking the American flag. But the stick figure guy was labeled Raytheon. And I'm not sure if anybody who knows what Raytheon is, but the caption was, come on, do a war. And I thought it was hilarious. It's really not funny, but the meme is funny. But obviously a lot of these defense stocks go to the moon when the United States wraps themselves up in these endless wars. So this is the Louis Vuitton building right here. Nicholas says, how come people are so reckless on bikes in Manhattan? I'm not sure. Roy S says, Tom, are you headed to your previous apartment? Yeah, Solo 401. It was funny, right? I mean, it's not funny like when it actually... But it's a joke, you know? Hey, Diane says, tired of snow. I have 22 inches still on the ground in Buffalo. With another 3 tonight, there's nowhere to put it anymore. That, guys, is military industrial complex, indeed. So check out the view of Billionaires Row here. You see all 3 major Billionaire Row buildings. You see Central Park Tower, which is this building all the way right here. you have 157, and then you have the Steinway building right here. And it kind of looks cool in the snow, with all the snow coming down. Sunshine after rain, says Tom, are we going to Columbus Circle? We are. Hey, Sweet James says Freemason check wear in their hats in the UK. Claudio Ortiz says hi there from Argentina. What is going on? What's up, Claudio Ortiz? Good to see you. Tom AK says hi, I'm having a glass of wine. Well, enjoy it, Tom. You deserve it, pal. VSYNC says that building is very tall and skinny, or is that the reflection? No, it is really tall and skinny. So the vast majority of the new Billionaires Row towers are these ultra tall, ultra skinny skyscrapers. See, you know it's cold in New York when you see these things going crazy like this at night. Hey, Cool on 516 says I'm having a glass of wine too. Great minds think alike. Yeah, I mean, is there anything else really better to do on a Monday night? To sit back, relax, check out the Walks in Wall Street stream, and have a nice glass of wine. I mean, I can't say I can't blame you guys. Patty says, Tom, I really like your American accent. Thank you. Thanks, Patty. Tom AK says, we are gearing up for a Putin war. I don't think so at all. But I respect your opinion. And look, I could be wrong. I'm not an expert on foreign affairs and foreign policy. But there's nothing good that would come out of a war with Russia. And Russia definitely does not want a war with the United States. Look at the GDP of Russia and look at the GDP output of the United States. Hey, War Walker, what's up, man? What's up, War Walker? NMB 045 says I was on the treadmill for 30 minutes just now. That's awesome, NMB 045. You got to get the road work in. Got to get the road work in. Love that. Hey, what's up, Alan Wilson? Good to see you. Marty Lewis says we are not going to war. I agree, Marty. I think I'm in the same boat as you. I really, really don't think we're going to go to war. I think that's just all hyped up media, Fox News, CNN nonsense, just to get people upset. Hey, Oscar Diaz, thank you so much for the $5 donation. I appreciate you, Oscar. You're very kind. Says, get some hot cup of joe, bro. It is chilly out there. Thank you, Oscar. But now, everybody, we are looking at the one and only Plaza Hotel with the snowflakes coming down. Looks pretty good. Hello from Beijing. Welcome everybody from Beijing. Love Beijing. Hey Chris, what's up Chris? This sounds good to me, but I'll drink a Dr. Pepper. So Chris, I think you were gonna tell us tonight on the stream if you were able to go back to work. So I hope your foot is feeling better. And, any updates on that, Chris? You back to work or you still taking some time off? So this is the Apple store right here. Very cool. Hey, Yogi's here. Says, Tom, that's the hotel from Home Alone 2. Solo 401 says, crazy Uncle Joe will forget about him in a few days. That's funny. That guy says, looks like a hot chocolate night. Brody says, so Canada and places near Canada, the main reason for the food shortage and the vax mandate with the truckers. Yeah, so I heard about that, actually. I'm not too sure what's exactly going on with that, but we do have a lot of viewers on the stream that are Canadian. So I believe there's a big group of truckers that are protesting the vaccination mandates. And that could be leading to some supply chain shortages. But look, I support the truckers. I support them. I am very, very pro-vaccine, but I am not pro-mandate. But I respect everybody's opinions. Hey, Diane says, I make dog coats and hats and sell them to local pet stores. People are still spending money on their pets, so there's still discretionary income. Very cool. Ricky Ticky says, I'm from Colorado. That's awesome. Love Colorado. Mars says, I'm eating while watching. How are you? Sweet dreams. Good to see you. Chris says, oh gosh, what a nightmare. Since workers' comp denied my claim, I have to go through my insurance. Yeah, Chris, workers' comp is a big scheme. You know, it always seems like the people who really need workers' comp don't get it. But all of the fraudulent schemers and the unethical people, it seems like those are the only people that get it. I was in a very similar situation a couple of years ago. I was in the hospital with a very rare condition, and they denied my workers' comp and disability. So this is the Plaza Hotel with the Steinway building in the back. Dino says, New York State struck down the mask mandate the other night. Well, there's something very interesting that's happening. I mean, if you look at many countries in Europe, you know, they're removing all COVID restrictions altogether. So we'll see how it plays out. We'll see how it plays out. Hey, I see Sanjeev here. What's up, Sanjeev? Good to see you. Sanjeev, we were just talking about the very volatile day on Wall Street. All of the major indices were down big across the board, but during power hour, which was right around 3 o'clock, we had a big rally day on Wall Street. Huge rally into the close, and everything closed in the green. Hey, Kevin Sunderland, thank you so much. You're too kind. Thank you for the $20 donation. I really appreciate it. Just call me crazy, but I'm hoping the market doesn't rip up on the open. Would prefer more of a sustained move. Kevin, I'm right there with you. The 2 days that are going to really define this market, in my view, Kevin, is when is when Microsoft reports, and when this guy right here reports, Apple. You know, if those two earnings reports come in better than expected, you know, we could be right back up, you know, 3-4% in a matter of days. But what I would like to see ideally what I would like to see is a sustained bear market in terms of time. Because what a lot of people don't understand, if they're new to investing, you know, they started investing during the crash of 2020, you know, there's two forms of corrections in the market. You could have a correction in terms of price, which what we saw in 2020, and we could also have a correction in terms of time. And in the year 2020, you know, there was not a correction in terms of time. You know, the markets peeled off 50% or 30 to 50% in a matter of days, right? And then we turned right back around and went up. But if you look at something like the 2000 tech wreck, the dot-com bubble, that was a correction in terms of price and time. You know, if you look at the NASDAQ, it took almost 14 years for the NASDAQ to get right back up to its previous all-time highs. You know, if you pull up a chart of the NASDAQ, pull up a chart of Microsoft, it took Microsoft over 10 years to breach its new all-time record high. But Kevin Sunderland, thank you so much for the support. I appreciate the $20 donation. Thank you for supporting the streams. Jonathan France says, I got pretty nicked up. Oscar Diaz says, I got hit on crypto. Not much investing on it, but imagine those with so much into it. Yeah, so cryptocurrencies tend to be those things that are they have a much higher beta, right? So very volatile instruments. But if you look at the historical price action of something like Bitcoin, you know, does everybody remember the 2017 run up and then it corrected almost 80%? So that sort of volatility is par for the course in assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum. So I think if you ever want to get exposure to those two instruments, you really, really have to understand what you're getting yourself into and how to manage that volatility. Yeah, Sanjeev's is the Steinway building. So Sanjeev, this is like a perfect view of it. So this is the Steinway building right here, which is the newest addition to Billionaires Row. Right here, this teeny tiny building, well, it's not teeny, is 157. Bill Ackman actually owns an apartment there. And then the tall one right behind it is the one and only Central Park Tower. Yeah, VSYNC is talking about the Fibonacci retracement. Yeah, so even though I think a lot of people are going to get really excited over this bounce today, but you know, we really need to look for a follow-through date, because you know, pull up a 50-day moving average, a 100-day moving average, as well as a 200-day moving average, and all of these indices all of these moving averages are curling lower, right? So these moving averages are going to act as resistance. So it's going to be important to pay attention to that. And the interest rate environment. You know, watch that 10-year yield. You know, if you want to know where the stock market is going to go, quit looking at the stock market. You got to look at the bond market. Watch that 10-year yield. So this is the Plaza Hotel. Dan McLaren says, you're absolutely right, Tom. Trading sideways is a form of correction. Absolutely. Agreed. Hey, Fresh Start's here. What's up, Fresh Start? Marilyn says, you cannot view the market as a day trader. I like to view it from a longer term system. Don't go into something unless you're comfortable. I agree, Marilyn. I agree with that 100%. VSYNC says, narrator, what's your name, by the way? You seem to have a wide variety of experience. Loving this narration and scenery. Well, thank you for being here. My name is Tom, and we go live 5 days a week between New York City and Miami, and we talk about financial markets, technology, and really anything. We just have a good time here. So this building right there is 432 Park Avenue, and then this is Trump Tower. It doesn't look like Trump is home because the lights are off. Yeah, Chris's lovely entrance. Hey, XXX is here. Says, hey, what's up, XXX? This is the entrance to the Plaza Hotel. Fresh Start, we will show you the Empire State Building. Oscar Diaz says, index funds are less volatile than mutual funds. Newbie here, my friend. Well, it just depends. So what you have to look at is their beta, right? So if you want to Google that, I won't really go into it too much. But if you want to reduce volatility, you know, like the NASDAQ is more volatile than the S&P 500. Let's say like the ARK ETFs are more volatile than the S&P 500. So some mutual funds, you have to look at the prospectus, right? And very few people actually look at the prospectus of any really investment vehicle that they're investing in, but you have to look at it because it will disclose their target beta, their target performance, and their benchmark, right? Are they benchmarked, you know, against the Russell? Are they benchmarked against the NASDAQ, the S&P 500? You know, what is that benchmark? And then that will definitely disclose the beta. Patriots as Trump is smoking weed in Florida. Look at how beautiful these are. Yeah, the architecture on these are really just fascinating. XXX is, where is this, Tom? This is outside the Plaza Hotel. So the Plaza Hotel has two main things. It has the hotel, and then it also has the residences where people actually live. Mount Up 716 says hi, Tom and everybody. Nice night, just strolling through, looking at the architecture. What is up, Mount Up? Hey, Jose says hi, Tom. Large cap stocks tend to be safer than growth stocks and smaller caps. Yeah, especially during an environment where interest rates are rising, right? Because more often than not, if you look at the Russell 2000, which tend to be the smaller cap companies, these companies don't have any earnings, right? So in an environment where interest rates are going up, you know, why would you want to invest in a company that has zero earnings when you can invest into a bond that yields a much higher rate of return? And this is why a lot of times, you know, you will see growth stocks that have a lot of their earnings that are predicated in the future sell off when interest rates rise, right? Because bonds, Fresh Start, I saw your comments. Says, Tom, when did they build the Central Park Tower? I'm not sure the exact date, Fresh Start, when they built the Central Park Tower. I'm not sure the exact date. I do apologize. But I did see your comment there a couple times. But when interest rates rise, right, it has an inverse correlation to the price of the bond, right? So when bonds prices go up, rates go down. When rates go up, bond prices go down, vice versa. So when rates go up, the present value of those earnings in the future are worth less. So growth stocks tend to sell off. Hey, NYC Rich says, hey, what's up, bro? How are you? What's up, NYC Rich? Good to see you as always. Hope you're well. X says, what a gorgeous chessboard. VSY, I'm just going to call you NC. Is that all right? NC says, do you work in finance, Tom? No, I actually work in tech sales. So enterprise software, hardware, and telecom. But during college, I did have a very brief internship at a hedge fund. I just have a very, very high interest in finance. Jesse Guy USA says, good evening, everybody. Good evening. Hey, Mana D, what's up? Says, hello, Tom and chat. Good to see you. NNB045 says, Tom, I'm learning more from your newsletter than in other noisy finance channels. Yeah, I mean, so one of the things I'll say, and I sometimes watch those finance YouTube people a lot, but, you know, they like to, you know, I think the vast majority of them are nonsense because they just talk about things to get clicks and have people watch their video. So they'll talk about like the GameStop nonsense and buy AMC, buy GameStop, but it's all just nonsense. It's total garbage. But they do it for a kick and for a laugh. That's just not my style. It's just nonsense. It's nonsense. Yeah, they say they hype it up, the guy. Yeah, well, one of the things, like, a lot of the people that make, you know, the YouTube videos on finance, is they talk about, like, all the garbage that doesn't matter. That's not going to help you out at all. Like, the Dogecoin, you know, they'll be like, Dogecoin is up 1,000% and buy this. It's just all garbage. I mean, anybody who's worked in finance or who actually runs a lot of money, they know it's all junk. It's all nonsense. But that's what the retail trader wants to hear. They want to hear the nonsense. They want to hear, how can you make $100 a day trading stocks from your house? It's all garbage. It's all garbage. It's nonsense. But yeah, XX is Andy Warhol. They have a lot of expensive stuff in there too. Beautiful art. Yogi says the Reddit, when it first surfaced, was hilarious. Claudia Ortiz says the statue you just passed in Central Park was donated from Argentina. I used to live right on this block. Hey, Scott Briggs, good to see you. I see Andy is here. What's up, Andy? Andy is joining us from South Korea. What's going on? Francisco GM says, Tom, can we see Carnegie Hall? Absolutely, we will walk past Carnegie Hall tonight. So this is Central Park South. This is the very famous J.W. Marriott Essex House. And in the back, it is the former Time Warner Center. And now it is the Deutsche Bank Towers. Mo A, do you think it is a good time to buy Zoom Info? So I can't advise you on when to buy a stock or when to sell it, but I cover Zoom Info pretty much, I would say, ad nauseum. I think it's a great company. I personally have a position in Zoom Info, but I am not licensed to give out financial advice or tell you to buy securities. So I can't tell you, oh, today's a good time to buy Zoom Info. I could just say I personally have a position, but I would expect more volatility, especially going into earnings. But from what I saw today, today's price action, institutions were accumulating a very, very select few growth names, one of which was Zoom Info today. That I know for a fact. But I am not licensed to solicit securities, so I cannot advise on anything. So this is 220 Central Park South. And Ken Griffin, which is the owner and founder of Citadel Securities, which is a major quantitative research firm on Wall Street, lives in the very top penthouse of that building. And then this is Central Park Tower right here. So if you want to Google Citadel Securities, Ken Griffin, he lives in the very top 3 floors of this building. I like the rounded corner of the building. So if you like this building, one of my clients used to live here, and he was one of the most famous plastic surgeons in New York. But then he had to move to famous notable plastic surgeon, which was my client. He used to live right here. The address is 200 Central Park South. Paul says Tom's home. I wish. Santo Ace, Citadel is a monopoly. I don't think so. There's other competing quantitative firms on the street. You know, you have 2 Sigma, you have Renaissance Technologies, you have Jump Trading, things like that. But they're very known for payment for order flow. And that was a very controversial subject when everybody was upset at Robinhood. But nobody should be upset at Robinhood because payment for order flow is a very common practice on Wall Street. It's just that the people who are new to investing have no idea what they're talking about. And they're like, what? Robinhood is selling our orders to Citadel and 2 Sigma? That's crazy. Well, how else do you think you're going to get free trades? You know, you have to live in reality, and you have to, you know, understand how financial markets work. And obviously, if you're trading for free and they're not charging you a commission, how do you think they're going to make money? They can't. So they need to sell your order flow to market makers to match your trades. So Robinhood bills Citadel for your order flow. So for example, if you're trying to buy a stock on Robinhood and you place an order for 2 shares of Apple, Robinhood is not the one that's settling your trades. It's either 2 Sigma, Citadel, or any other quantitative market maker on Wall Street. And that practice is called payment for order flow. But it's good for the retail investor because you guys don't have to pay any money called a commission. Back in the day, people used to pay $20 on the buy and the sell, sometimes even more. Hey, Savi says hello, Tom and everybody. Late and shoveling the driveway. Ooh, Savi. That one is crazy, shoveling the driveway. So right when I left Miami, I was actually mowing the lawn. But right now we are at Columbus Circle. Santos says, Tom, what do you think of naked selling? Do you mean naked short selling? I personally don't do it, but if you're running like a long short portfolio, I think sometimes it's necessary for hedging purposes and things like that, but I personally don't do it. Man, it's windy here. Yeah, time lapses. Tom, do you remember when crude was negative $37 a barrel? I do, in 2020 during the pandemic for a brief amount of time. Hey, Flo P is here. Good to see you, Flo P. War Walker, what's the weather like in Miami? We'll go to the Deutsche Bank Towers. We'll walk inside for a little bit just to warm up briefly. But it's actually really nice inside the Deutsche Bank Towers. Very nice. Hey, Diane says, at what age did you develop an interest in economics? Probably as a teenager. I would say maybe 13-ish. So everybody, I got a fresh start. I left my microphone at home. But this building right here is one of my favorite buildings in the city. And it may not look like anything extraordinary, but you have to, go on Zillow and look at some of the apartments in that building because it is so cool. It has one of the best views of the city. And I think it's called, I gotta get the address, but maybe we'll walk past it tonight. Drake says, what's your favorite spot to see the skyline? Probably somewhere in Brooklyn or Queens, I would say. Shot by Scott. I do see you. I may have missed your comments. I gotta duck inside. My eyelids are freezing, and so are my hands. I'll catch up on the comments once I get inside. Just give me a second. Nicholas, we are near what's it called? Oh, I think it's closed. Let's see. Thank God. All right, let me catch up on some of the comments. All right, so this is the Deutsche Bank Towers. Penelope says, Tom, warm up. So this is one of my favorite places to eat in the city, right here. It's called Momofuku Noodle Bar. And that's me, you can see me. What's up, guys? Momofuku Noodle Bar, fantastic. You gotta check it out. You gotta try it. Hey, Daniel G says it's 2 degrees Celsius right now. In New York City, that is freezing. Shot by Scott says, Tom, those are the same statues outside of the SLS Lux. Hey, Ruby Falcone is here, and Laytha. What's up, Laytha? We are here in the Deutsche Bank Towers, formerly known as the Time Warner Centers. Online says, isn't Momofuku on 11th Street? It is, but this is my favorite one here. You know what? If it's still open, I'll show you guys. It's an amazing place. Hey, Jake says, hey man, what's up, Jake? Ren says, hello, Tom. Scott Briggs says, sorry, I was asking what the deal is with Forex currency market. Do you have to have a massive fund to get involved? I mean, Scott, if you're a retail trader, I really wouldn't even bother trading Forex. I really wouldn't even bother. A lot of the people that are online that are trying to, let's say, promote or encourage people to trade Forex are really just promoting Ponzi schemes. You know, there's really no reason for a retail trader to even deal with foreign exchange markets. Hey, Jonathan Richards, what's up, man? So check out the view from here. You can see all of Columbus Circle. And then down here is actually the Whole Foods. Shot by Scott says, what's nicer, this place or Brickell City Center? Ooh, Brickell City Center is way nicer than this, because I like the indoor-outdoor feel. But this is still a nice place. I love this place. Hey, Marjan Worldwide, good to see you. So this is one of my favorite spots to eat. It's just like a little cafe. But I always take my mother here because it's a cool place to sit down. And during the day, you can sit down here and then you see a whole view of Central Park from here. So you can sit here and take a look at the Central Park, Columbus Circle. Yeah, I'll give you guys another. Yeah, so if you're ever in New York City, it's not an expensive place. You don't need a reservation. You just come, sit down. You could have like a cup of coffee, things like that. But you sit here and you overlook this amazing view. You're not going to be able to see it since it's nighttime, but during the day, if you want to Google it, it's the entire Columbus Circle and Central Park. It looks really nice. Hey, Ramsey says, hi, Tom. Hi, everybody. How are you guys? What's up, Ramsey? I'm doing good. Daniel G says, love that place. Good to see you, Daniel. So let's take a walk outside the Momofuku Noodle Bar. Fresh Starts says, Tom, how many times have you been there? Honestly, probably over 20 times. Drake Smith says, what is the place called again? Would like to visit next time. So Drake, this is gonna be on the 3rd floor, and I think it's called Tartinery. I believe that's what it's called, but it's on the 3rd floor here. This place, number 3. Tartinery, and then you have the Momofuku Noodle Bar here, which is to the right. Disney cast member, have you ever been here? Hey, Anonymous Dude is here. What's up, Anonymous Dude? Good to see you. Yeah, somebody says missing Miami already. A little bit, definitely missing the weather. This is another very upscale place, the Bluebird London. But here we have one of my favorite spots. I actually ate here, I think it was 2 days ago now. But this is the Momofuku Noodle Bar. Great place right here. Must visit, must check it out. And this is the sign. Hey, NMB 045 is so beautiful to watch. Hey, Disney cast member says, yes, you've been there. Yeah, this place is great. It's a good place to get out of the cold. Shot by Scott says, look up David Chang on Netflix. That's his spot. Yeah, one of my good friends was actually a chef at one of his other restaurants. Q Stang 8 says, you buying the dip or waiting? So in my actively managed accounts, I am not buying the dip yet. But in my longer term retirement account, like my Roth IRA, I did add to my S&P 500 index fund because, you know, I'm 26 years old right now. And what I believe, in my view, is I continue to believe that the United States will be the dominant world superpower where capital creation will happen here. You know, the vast majority of capital formation and capital creation is happening in the United States. It's not happening anywhere else. It's happening right here. So over the long term, I think companies in America are going to continue to grow their earnings over time. And I think more new and exciting products and services and companies will IPO, and that will drive the S&P 500 higher over time. But in my actively managed portfolio, not yet. I'm waiting for a follow-through day. And a follow-through day, I'll explain in more detail on the Behind the Street newsletter, which I will be sending out to everybody tonight. Nicholas says, China is the most powerful nation independently, but America is the most powerful with allies. That's incorrect, but I respect the opinion. I definitely respect that opinion, but definitely incorrect. XXX says, you don't think China will become the superpower? Well, China is a superpower, but what you have to understand is you have to understand global capital allocation and the way it really works, right? So a lot of entrepreneurs are not going to go to China to create a business, right? It's just not going to happen because China is communist. You know, we can look at a great example is all of the fantastic, phenomenal, like really, really unbelievable entrepreneurial Chinese companies that specialized in education. You know, these were some of the most solid companies during the pandemic that were producing unbelievable amounts of free cash, unbelievable amounts. Overnight, the CCP said, since you're dealing in education, you are not allowed to operate a business. It has to be, all education has to be run by the government. All of those education stocks went to zero overnight. Literal zero. So if you're an entrepreneur, where are you going to feel more comfortable starting a business, raising money, and hiring employees? In a country where the government could shut you down at any time, or a country like the United States of America? I will say, if China was not communist, China would easily supersede and pass the United States in economic productivity and innovation within 5 years, easily crush the United States. But since they have a communist government, that will never happen, in my view. So this building, funny story about this building, right here, I actually used to live right here. So this door under here, it didn't used to be any of this nice stuff. It used to be a bar, and it used to be a Subway sandwich. And I used to live in a closet in this building with my brother's friends from college. So it was a 4-bedroom apartment, and there was a little walk-in closet, and I used to sleep right here for 4 years because I went to college right down here. So I went to the John Jay College of Criminal Justice, I went to class, I played on a soccer team, I went to work, and then I came right back up here and just crashed out in this apartment. Good times here, we used to hang out on the roof, everything. Great time. Yeah, so this used to be my old stomping grounds back in 2015. Hey Daddy Boggs, this beautiful mall. I went years ago from Ozone Park, very cool. PDC says, sorry, what is this place? This is Columbus Circle. So 59th Street, Columbus Circle, and the Deutsche Bank Towers. Lincoln says, I agree with the Chinese. So, and actually, I'm not sure if you guys remember, when I first started this channel, I developed a huge bull thesis on China, right? You look at Alibaba, you look at JD, you look at Tencent. These are unbelievable, innovative companies, unbelievable. But the Chinese government is holding innovation back. If the Chinese government didn't threaten private enterprises every time that they gained a little bit of power, China would easily overtake the United States in terms of the companies that go public, innovation, everything, easily within 5 years. It wouldn't even be an argument. But capital is not going to want to be created. Capital formation will not happen in China if people aren't going to be allowed to get rich. It's not going to happen. That guy says, we have been wasting time in space. Autonomous technology and space travel is the future. What's up, that guy? Hey, Sierra C says, yay, so glad you got to live stream. I know, yesterday I thought we weren't going to be able to, but I did get out of my meetings and out of my client dinner a little bit earlier. Jonathan Richards says, Tom, you're so spot on about China. And look, and you know, Jonathan Richards, one of the things I will say, and I think, so for everybody watching this stream, if you want to know about technology companies in China, you really have to look up this gentleman by the name of Kai-Fu Lee, K-A-I-F-U, and then Lee, L-E-E. And Kai-Fu Lee used to be the former president of Google China. So during the tech and telecom bust in the year 2000, Kai-Fu Lee was actually responsible for all of the operations in Google, or for Google in China. And now Kai-Fu Lee has since retired from Google, and he launched a venture capital firm called Sinovation Ventures, which specifically invests into early stage companies in China in terms of artificial intelligence and machine learning. And he actually has 2 books that are out, and they're phenomenal books. So if you want to understand the capital formation sort of process in China, if you want to understand technology startups in China, you definitely have to read the book AI Superpowers by Kai-Fu Lee. So once again, the book is AI Superpowers by Kai-Fu Lee. And this is 432 Park Avenue. Hey, Anonymous Dude is here. What's up, Anonymous Dude? Hope you're well. Hey, Timelapse is China Uncensored is a great channel on YouTube. He talks about all the dirty secrets of China. Stephen T says, no, I want to know more about that guy who went by on that hoverboard. Yeah, there's a ton of those hoverboards in New York. A lot. They're awesome. Hey, Chris, this is Tom. We are going to... Oh, were you going to let us know how your dinner was? Yeah, so we went to 5 Napkin Burger here in the city, and it was decent. It was actually pretty good. I enjoyed my time. You know, there's one thing, it was good to see people again, you know, meeting your clients. You know, it's good to get back out there. So this building here is the Trump International Hotel at Columbus Circle. Stephen T's first time here, thought you were Action Kid. Action Kid is, you know, speaking of Action Kid, I believe Action Kid used to be, was it an investment banker or was he an accountant? I know that Action Kid is very, very smart. I think he worked in finance for a long time. But I always tune into Action Kid streams. Action Kid has great streams. An accountant. Well, Action Kid actually just did a video of a complete tour on the inside of the Trump Tower on 5th Avenue. So if anybody's interested to see what it looks like on the inside, definitely check that out. It was an awesome, well put together video. So this is Carnegie Hall. But what's unfortunate is that it's covered in scaffolding. You know, there's a lot of big historical landmarks in the city that are unfortunately covered in scaffolding. One of which being Carnegie Hall right here on 7th Avenue and 57th Street. But the outside architecture, the facade is unreal. But unfortunately we got the scaffolding. VI says, Tom, what's the best career in finance? I mean, in terms of, define the best career in finance. Are you talking about earning potential, work-life balance? I mean, if you're going directly for earnings in and of itself, I would say I would probably go into investment banking, working in mergers and acquisitions, and then I would try to get exit opportunities to private equity or venture capital. So that's what many people do, right? They spend 2 years as investment banking analysts, and then they try to garner exit opportunities at either venture capital firms or private equity firms. Hey, Jimmy Anderson says cheers. What's up, Jimmy Anderson? Good to see you. NMB045 says for work-life balance, a trader. Well, there's something interesting about the trading division at an investment bank. And those divisions, so in an investment bank, if somebody says you work in investment banking, there's many different divisions within the investment bank. You know, you could work in mergers and acquisitions or M&A, or you could work in sales and trading, right? And there's many other departments. But the sales and trading department of the investment bank has been in structural decline for the last 2 decades for obvious reasons, right? Because the vast majority of trading activity on Wall Street is all automated and algorithmic. So there's really no need to call up a broker and do trades manually. So if you're going into the sales and trading department, you could still make a lot of money, but those departments have been cut in half. You know, if you look at a Goldman Sachs trading floor, a Citigroup, Mizuho, you know, these things are quite literally cut in half from years ago. Hey, Kevin H is here. What's up, Kevin H? Good to see you. Gloria Mills, good to see you. Horatio Snipes says, Baruch a good college to get into investment banking? Yeah, it's a great college. I have a lot of buddies who went to Baruch that work in investment banking. Bernard M. Baruch was one of the greatest investors of all time. So this is the Park Hyatt. So Shot by Scott, they do not. So Shot by Scott is asking, do they still have at the floor of the New York Stock Exchange brokers screaming and yelling at each other? And the answer is no. And the reason for that is because back in the day, you know, quite literally, brokers would be trading with hand signals and pieces of paper. But now, everything is all automated. It's, you know, I could, you know, sit on the couch from my house and pull up my Charles Schwab app or Interactive Brokers app and place a trade with a click of a button. Hey, Scott, thank you so much for the $5 donation. It says, love the live stream and your commentary and insights. Thank you so much. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate you. Dinos' president got caught on a hot mic calling a reporter an SOB today. I did see that. So who was the reporter that was called an SOB? I think it was the Fox News guy. I forget his name. But I did see that very briefly on Twitter today. Yeah, time lapses. Back then, stock quotes were, fractions. Yep, 1/2, 1/4, 1/8, 1/16. So check out the Steinway building from this angle. Beautiful. Oh, Peter Ducey. Yeah, William, you're right. Yeah, Nicholas is what? I didn't hear that happen. Yeah, so today, I believe President Joe Biden was caught on calling one of the reporters an SOB when he was asking about inflation. Pretty funny. Marty Lewis says Trump never apologized to anyone. Biden apologized to the reporter. Yeah, I'm not saying that, you know, Trump is better than Biden or vice versa. I just thought it was kind of hilarious. Marty Lewis says Joe Biden apologized. Yeah, I mean, it's not political. The statement is not political at all. But I thought, you know, people are caught on a hot mic all the time. Like, think about it like this. Could you imagine the trash talk that is being said behind closed doors? What Biden is saying about Trump and what Trump is saying about Biden? You know, they're obviously, you know, absolutely destroying each other behind closed doors, obviously. I mean, that's obvious. Christian says, do you admire Warren Buffett? I wouldn't say I admire anybody. But he's a good value investor. Hey, Jose is here. What's going on? Hey, Cosmo Scary is here. What's up, Cosmo? So Cosmo, funny enough, we were actually just getting a bunch of questions about Baruch. So if anybody has any questions about Baruch College, feel free to send them over to our pal Cosmo Scary, former Baruch Bearcat. So one of the things, now that we're on the topic of Joe Biden and politics, it was interesting when we look at the fact that, people in Congress are allowed to trade individual stocks and they make a ton of money. We heard about Nancy Pelosi trading and making an absolute killing. But if you look at the number one politician who shot lights out last year, and I mean made an absolute fortune, it wasn't Nancy Pelosi. It was Dan Crenshaw. And when Dan Crenshaw was asked on a podcast, do you think that Congress people should be able to trade individual stocks? He said, look, I think Congress people should be able to trade individual stocks because if we weren't allowed to do that, you would only have billionaires running for Congress. And I mean, look, I respect Dan Crenshaw. I thank him for his service. The guy was a Navy SEAL. I mean, he sacrificed more for this country than I ever will hope to in my lifetime. But to say something like that, the reason why people should be going into politics is to become a public servant, right? You don't go into politics to say, oh, wow, I'm going to make a ton of money in my career. That's not supposed to be the reason to go into politics. Okay? I'm not going to say, hey, I want to be a police officer because I want to get rich, right? These are public servants. So when Dan Crenshaw says, we need to be able to make money too, you're doing it for the wrong reason. You're supposed to go into politics to be a public servant, to serve the public. And that comes with a trade-off. You're not going to make as much money as other people. If I say I want to go into enterprise software sales, I'm not saying, hey, I want to go into enterprise software sales because I want to be a public servant. No, it's because I want to make bank. I want to make money, dude. I want to make some money. Hey, I want to be an investment banker. I'm not going to do it for public service. I'm doing it to make a killing. But it's different when you're a public servant and you're in Congress, when you're supposed to be trying to make laws, rules, and regulations to make things better for people. So I just thought that answer was totally egregious. But that's just my 2 cents. I think that if you're in Congress, you should not be able to trade individual stocks because you are influencing the rules, regulations, and laws that could influence stock prices. And that means you're not doing it for the right reasons. Yeah, Jonathan Francis, exactly. Yeah, that's true. Somebody said it's like a professional athlete betting on the game. Yeah, that's illegal. I agree with that. Hey, Dell is here. What's up, Dell? Sorry for the wind, everybody. It's probably terrible, the noise of the mic. All right, so we are right outside of the Charles Schwab building. Yeah, but that's my take on it. I'm like, look, if you go into politics, you should have an understanding that you're going into politics not to make money, but to try to make things better for your average citizen. That's why it's called a public servant. So to say, hey, if I want to trade stocks, you're not doing it for the right reasons. That's the point. Hey, Jerry is here. Good to see you. Lupe says casino employees cannot play. Yeah, Disney cast member says, meanwhile, Martha Stewart goes to jail. Gross, I agree. Emilio J says they'll go all in on Raytheon and North, and Grumman too. Yep, you're right. Before the war with Russia. Roy S says halal guys. Charlie Richardson is here, says hi Tom. Marty Lewis says John and Mark Kelly are the Dems who want to ban stock trading by themselves of Congress. I agree with them. I agree with them 100%. Lil Banks as well. I disagree, Tom. That is no different than becoming a doctor. Becoming a doctor to have a successful and stable life. If doctors got paid little, we'd almost have no doctors. Ask Cuba. Well, the reason why doctors don't get paid anything in Cuba is because Cuba is a communist country and there's no free markets. I think it's very, very different. The reason why doctors are so highly paid is because their skills are so desirable, right? Not everybody could be a doctor. Not everybody could be a surgeon. Not everybody can do those type of things. So in Congress, if you're just trading off of insider information and slam dunking on everybody, that's no value add to society. That's not value. That's just being a jerk. The reason why neurosurgeons get paid millions of dollars a year in some cases is because their skills are so marketable in the free market, right? Why do you think the best doctors get paid the most? Why do you think the best salespeople get paid the most? Is because their skills are so valuable where they can market them in the free market for higher prices. But I see you do make an interesting point, and I respect it for sure. NMB 045, thank you. Hey, Santa Monica Rodriguez, welcome. Good to see you, Santa Monica Rodriguez. Hey, Bruce, is the plunge protection team save the market? Dan M says it takes a lot to be a doctor. Most of them don't go into it for the money. Agreed. Yeah, my sister is going to be a physician's assistant. And just to be a physician's assistant is a ton of schooling. It's crazy. Really, really crazy. But I don't know, that's just my view. With my knowledge of the financial markets and how things move, if I was in Congress and I was proposing a bill to increase cybersecurity spending for large state and local governments within the United States, and I knew we were going to increase spending on cybersecurity, and then before the bill was passed, I bought a ton of cybersecurity stocks, and then once the bill is passed, it comes out in the Wall Street Journal, headline news, CrowdStrike wins a multi-million-dollar deal with the US government, and the stock's up 20% after hours, and I own a ton of call options, and I make millions of dollars. That's not being a public servant. That's just being a jerk, in my view. Democrat or Republican. And the Republicans, the report came out, the Republicans do it more than the Democrats. Okay, we are going to make a left and walk down here. Oscar V says, I never understood how New York went from horrible yellow tag from the one with the Statue of Liberty. Oh, you're talking about the license plates? Yeah, I agree with that too. The old license plates were way better. Hey, Kevin H is here. Good to see you. Yeah. Obama says, my sister is a pharmacist. Very cool. It's an awesome job. So we are walking outside Barclays. Hey, Canyon Overlooks is my company. We have to tell our company and get approval before we can buy single stocks. So this is a French investment bank called BNP Paribas. Hey, Monique Patterson is here. And back a couple of years ago, there was actually a helicopter that crashed, unfortunately, on the roof of this building. So we'll walk down here. We have to walk back to 34th Street, Penn Station. So we will do that via 7th Avenue. Hey, MB says, good evening, Tom. Really calm and quiet stream tonight. Yeah, there does seem to be a lot less people out on the streets in New York. And I think one of the main reasons is because it's so cold out. Hey, what's up to Swan from Ireland? So if you look straight ahead, you could actually see where they dropped the ball on New Year's. And then this is right outside the Barclays Investment Bank. Yeah, Horatio Snipes says Barclays is beautiful. Unbelievable building. Wow, Monique says apparently a snowstorm is coming the 29th. Ooh, I'm not a big fan of snow. Judy D, good to see you. Hey, Latha, it's good to see you. Hope you're well. Hey, Alex Gatsby says, hi, I'm new. What's up, Alex? Good to see you. Thank you for joining. So if you guys are enjoying the stream tonight, feel free to leave a like on the video and subscribe if you are new. Hey, Felix says, Tom, where is Macy's? Macy's is in 34th Street, Herald Square. Hey, Out and About is here. What is up, Out and About? Out and About is our pal from Toronto, Canada. Hey, Neil says, hey, Tom. Cheers, buddy. What's up, Neil? Good to see you as always, Neil. Hey, Victoria Reyes. Good to see you. Well, so this is the Renaissance Hotel here. And this is the Krispy Kreme place. Very seldom do we walk near Times Square. So now that there's not a lot of people here, maybe we'll take a little bit of a walk through. Hey, sunshine after rain. Thomas is here. What's up, Thomas? Tom, aka is Citadel Ken Griffin. So this is that Clifford the Big Red Dog. I think it's, what is it going to be, a movie? Oscar Diaz is, Tom, do you track your steps on a smartwatch? I don't. I don't have a smartwatch. Hey, Luke says hi, Tom, from Montreal, Canada. What's up, Luke? Good to see you. Dino says, ugh, Times Square. I know. Well, we'll go really fast through it. Hey, Christy, good to see you. Hope you're well. "47th Street, Broadway." Here, I'll zoom in on where they dropped the ball for everybody. Sunshine after rain says, Tom, please skateboard again. Sunshine, we will, I promise. But I think if I were to skateboard in this cold weather, my face would rip off. But we'll try, we'll give it a go, I promise. When we're in Miami, I'll get the again, I promise. I 100% promise. XX is, why is the flag half staff? Well, unfortunately, there was an NYPD officer that was killed in Harlem. A horrible, horrible attack on an NYPD officer. And I believe he was only 22 years old. So this is where I used to work when I was a teenager, right in here at the Express. And fresh start just for you. This is the H&M building. Obama says, you ever collect gaming debt when you were a broke kid? I don't know what gaming debt is. What is gaming debt? Sunshine after rain says, gangbusters. Well, the stock market was going gangbusters today. Huge moves, wild swings in the S&P 500, NASDAQ. Stocks were getting hammered all day. But then towards the end of the trading session, we rallied back and actually closed positive for the day. Canyon Overlook says, did you buy any mutual funds when you were a teenager? I did not. I did not. Online says, what's your academic story? Did you always know what you wanted to do for a living? So originally I didn't. I went to the John Jay College of Criminal Justice here in New York. I wanted to be a police officer, and I was going to be in the January 2018 NYPD Academy. But then I pivoted and I went into tech sales. But I either wanted to be an NYPD officer or in sales and trading at an investment bank. And then I wound up in tech sales. So it just goes to show, usually, I mean, in my experience in life, whenever you have a plan, nothing ever goes according to plan. Life has a very interesting way of doing whatever it wants. Lil Banks says, Tom, what's some quick advice you'd give your newly 18-year-old self? I would say probably invest more money over time. I'd say start to invest more money. At 18, I'd say, yeah. Even though I did invest a lot of money at 18, I'd say do more. Hey, the Austin Tennis is here. What's up, the Austin Tennis? The Austin Tennis is a former investment banker from Canada turned software sales rep at PagerDuty. I hope you're well. But the 24/7 skateboarding stream will be back very, very soon. Hey, Miguel. What's up, Miguel? Good to see you. Dino, you're right. That's another one. I would say don't get into student debt. Stephen T says you still want to be an architect than a cop. I don't see how those two things go remotely together. No, I wanted to be in sales and trading at an investment bank or in tech sales, not an architect. But yeah, I would avoid all college debt. I would never take on debt to go to college. I think that is quite a waste. Yeah, Cosmo too. You also invested with no college debt too. I mean, you also graduated with no college debt, which is great. The vast majority of people that go to CUNY schools or state schools don't graduate with any debt, which is good. Hey, what's up, Kevin? Oscar V is way cheaper to get a degree in Europe and come back after. I'm not sure about that. I don't know about that. Definitely don't know about that. Hey, Mario says, any advice for investing as a beginner? Yeah, I would just start reading as much as possible. One book I recommend is Common Stocks and Uncommon Profits by Phil Fisher. And I would just read the paper, honestly. Investors Business Daily, Barron's, and just familiarize yourself with the markets. Yeah, that is true. Horatio Snipes says, while at John Jay, I wanted to go into compliance and investment banking. Very cool. But I ended up working for the feds. Well, that's a good gig, working for the feds. It's good. Tom AK says, why is Putin staging his troops? I have no idea. Yeah, I think it's all nonsense. I think it's all a big dog and pony show. So here we are outside of the NASDAQ. Out and about, says Tom, Toronto is sending snow your way. Hey, Aaron Pearl, good to see you. Donnell, what's going on? Anonymous Dude says, how did you get through living in that small room through college? Well, I mean, I think when you're young, you can afford to put up with a lot of craziness. So I would rather, make the sacrifice today and live in ridiculous living situations as opposed to doing that when I'm 50 years old. You know, when you're 18 years old, your body can take a lot of beating, more than people expect. You know, when you're 18 years old, you can afford to work 80, 90 hours a week. You can't afford to do that when you're 50. It's just not possible. You're gonna burn out. Hey, Durf1, what's going on? Donnell. What's up, Donnell? I'm in tech sales. Good to see you. Windy night tonight, very windy. Bonnie Hudson says this is so true. Falcon says, do you need a degree for tech sales? Well, I mean, I wouldn't say that you really need a degree for most things, but you need to be educated in the specific topics. You know what I mean? Because if you're advising companies on how to build out their technology infrastructure, you sort of need to know your way around, you know, basic concepts of cloud architecture. So, I mean, if you're a genius and you don't have a degree, I think you're going to get hired at a company. But I would say it just depends on how much you know about the subject. I would say it's fine. You could probably get a job. This is Joe's Pizza. Man, is it windy tonight. So my friend works in this building, 1411 Broadway. So we're coming up on Herald Square. This is 39th Street in Broadway, headed down to 34th Street in Broadway. Anonymous dude says we have to get Tom a bowl of ramen. Donnell says, what does your friend do? He's in finance. Hey, Cheryl says, hey Tom, what's up, Cheryl? Good to see you. The Austin Tennis says, have you ever been to Becco since you've been back home? So I haven't, but the Austin Tennis, I did go to Momofuku Noodle Bar. And we went there actually tonight on the stream. I showed everybody what it looked like over there. Chrissy says, whenever I see the Hudson River, I think of Seinfeld. Hey, NNB 045. Man, that wind is punishing. NNB 045, thank you so much for the $7 Canadian. I appreciate that very much. It says, our company's quarterly profit share is being paid out this month. Here's your share of the pie. Hey, thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. NNB 045, thank you for the support. And good luck with your future endeavors. NNB 045, I was reading your email. So best of luck to you. Hey, Just Jennifer says, thanks for the streams. Love that you're doing this. Thank you. Marco LaRosa says, hey Tom, why does smoke always come out of the sewers in New York? Usually it's like steam. It's like steam runoff, like steam blow off. Hey James, it's hello Tom from North Carolina. Ibrahim Azam is here. What's up, Ibrahim? Good to see you. Ibrahim Azam is joining us from California. Good to see you, Ibrahim. Somebody says, Tom, can you buy me a sports car? I don't even have a car myself. But I guess I'll buy you one. Horatio Snipes says, Tom, what's your favorite pizza place in New York? DeFara Pizza in Brooklyn. That's probably the best spot, in my view. DeFara. Ooh, this is Shake Shack. No good. No bueno. Five Guys, much better. Cosmo. I mean, it's just about, I just don't want to have the liability to deal with the car, to pay for the registration, pay for the insurance. I'd rather just you know, get an Uber or take the bus. Very rarely do I take Uber, but most times I take the subway or the bus. This is going to be the best view of the Empire State Building you ever seen in your life. Hey, Techno Pink, what's up? From the Dominican Republic, what is up? Hey, Daniel G from Buenos Aires, Argentina. Thank you for joining tonight. Rocky Rodriguez, good to see you. So the Swan, what do you think about the Empire State Building tonight, the Swan? Hey, Toshi says, good to see you, Tom, I'm back. Toshi, good to see you. Beautiful view of the Empire today. Hey, Jonathan Richards, thank you for watching from North Carolina. Appreciate it. Yeah, Jonathan says the Empire State Building looks so clear tonight. This guy stopped at a green light. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, Photos from Around New York says we're buying that building. We may put together a DAO for the Swan and pitch in to buy the Empire State Building. So we'll figure that out when the time comes. So now we are here at 34th Street, Herald Square. Techno Pink says the Empire State Building is my favorite building in New York. Let's take another look at it. So Techno Pink, how is everything going in Dominican Republic? Good to see you again. Out and about, we'll get it, don't worry. Hey, Traveling New Yorker says you're back. What's going on, Traveling New Yorker? And then here's the top of the One Vanderbilt building. But just to quickly recap tonight, everybody, I know I didn't have a concrete sort of lesson plan, or I shouldn't say lesson plan, but topic for tonight's stream. I was pretty busy with work, but we were talking about the extreme volatility on Wall Street. And, you know, during the late day market action, we saw a lot of buying. The S&P 500, the NASDAQ, and the Dow Jones were all down almost 3% respectively on the day. But then right at 3 o'clock, we turned right around and rallied almost 200 points on the S&P to close in the green. So we're gonna keep an eye on this, but we have to understand that all the major indices are still well below its 200-day moving average. So this rally may not be sustained. We have to wait for a follow-through day, what it's called. But if you want my full market outlook, I will be sending out the Behind the Street newsletter to everybody tonight. So if you type !news, NEWS in the chat, the Nightbot will drop the link to the Behind the Street newsletter where you could sign up for free. Hey, Angie Young says, what a peaceful night. How are you, Angie? Hey, Tiffany McLean says, watching from Virginia Beach. I'll be spending a week in New York City. You're gonna love it. You're gonna absolutely love it. Hey, Rick says, how long have you been live streaming? Probably since May, I believe. Jonathan Richards says, the Chrysler Building is my favorite in New York City, then the Empire. That's a good pick. It's a good choice. RL says, will market rise or fall Wednesday afternoon? So we are hearing from the Federal Reserve. The FOMC meeting concludes on Wednesday. And I think that the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell is going to signal to the market that they're going to raise rates in March of 2022. Hey, Robert Parker says, hey, Tom, what's your opinion on a possible Russia invasion of Ukraine and the effects on the stock market? I think 20 people asked that question tonight. But that's a good question. That is a good question. Everybody's very curious about that. But in my personal opinion, Robert, I really don't think that there's going to be any war between Russia, Ukraine, or the United States. But that's just my opinion. And I'm not an expert on foreign affairs or foreign policy, but I really don't think that there's going to be any sort of war. I think it's just another thing for the media to talk about, for everybody to get all riled up about. But I could be wrong, but that's my take on it. Yes, out and about, I have heard of Chris Gardner. I believe he was the guy that The Pursuit of Happiness was based off of. I mean, in my opinion, in my view, you know, if you look at the total economic sort of output or GDP of Russia and you compare that with the United States, there's no point or reason for Russia to start anything with the United States. Russia needs us. And in my opinion, I actually think that the United States and Russia are going to become very, very close allies. All right, so I do have to go into the train station anyway. So I'll show you guys the new Moynihan train station, because we have to go in here anyway. And I'm freezing, so I have to duck inside early.
Attend to small children by holding their hands.
So I've given my, I think that was probably the 20th time I've answered that question. So I want to know what you guys think. What does everybody in the chat think of the Russia-Ukraine situation now that you know my take? The Swan says the Moynihan train station is
next on 1108, local train bound. Change its rate tree for operating.
on. Over. I think that's actually NMB 045 says corporate media ratings. So it needs something to get riled up about. Yeah, well, I mean, just think about it. What would be the reason why Vladimir Putin would want war with America? There's no economic benefit. Literally no benefit. But I could. But what I think is, COVID is dying down. The Omicron variant is almost completely gone. So the media and the military-industrial complex needs something else to talk about. Next thing is this Russia-Ukraine thing. Who knows? Okay, now we are headed towards the Moynihan train station. Yeah, Mr. Putin is doing some incremental.
Time is 1108, Old Wood Track 21.
Putin is playing 3D chess just for the entertainment. This is Jerry. That's the greatest answer, probably way better than mine. So this is the Moynihan train hall. Yeah, somebody says all I'm saying is Action Kid 2032. I'd vote for Action Kid. I'd vote for him. Aaron Pearl says, I honestly think that Russia will seize opportunity to seize territory. Yeah, but I mean, Russia has so much land already. I mean, I don't know. Again, I could be wrong. I'm not an expert. You guys probably know more than me. Yeah, Roy S., I agree. There definitely is the common enemy. It's poverty. So back here is the brand new food hall that they just opened. Yeah, I mean, I'd vote for Action Kid over any of these other politicians. 100%. So this nice too. Wow, look at all these. Hey, Techno Pink says, where is this? It looks great. So this is the brand new Moynihan train station, the Moynihan train hall. And it's just opening up. So, I mean, it's been open for a while. To get food, to get a cup of coffee, all of that is opening. So everywhere you see like a big board, these are gonna be actual stores. So it's pretty cool. But the one problem with Moynihan Train Hall is the cellular service is horrible. Yeah, NMB 045, I'm still in my work attire, unfortunately. Yeah, Disney cast member says public servant does not equal rude. Ibrahim Azam says, I'm always excited when there's a new development.
Attention, please. This is the last call for Amtrak Keystone Service Train 639 en route to Philadelphia.
Techno Pink, doesn't this place look great?
Passengers should proceed to track 14.
Yeah, the Austin Tennis is work attire equals skate clothes. So NMB 045, I'm not wearing a suit and tie. I'm just wearing like dress shoes and a Patagonia vest. Aaron Prill, good to see you. Says, love to everybody, night y'all. Thank you for joining, Aaron, I really do appreciate it. Broadway Mozart's is not worrying. Sounds like a strategy. If there is war, there will be really nothing else to worry about. And if there isn't, then why worry? Yeah, you're right. I think you're absolutely 100% right. We can't control it. Yeah, Toshi says this looks like an airport, but it is a train hall. If you look directly across the train hall here, that is the brand new Amtrak waiting room, and it looks amazing over there. Hey, Marty Lewis says, thanks for the stream. Marty, hopefully your heat is back on. I know you were telling me about your heat. Your landlord is not fixing your heat. And, Disney cast member, right down. I go, right here, the Long Island Railroad waiting room. So a lot of the times I'll sit right there, wait for the train and whatnot. Deidre says, thank you, Tom, for a great night. Yeah, Disney cast members is dead zone tonight. So everybody, I do have to catch my train. So I appreciate everybody joining tonight. It was a wild and crazy day on Wall Street. Very volatile. I will be sending out the Behind the Street newsletter to everybody tonight. So it should be in your inbox shortly. I hope everybody has a great rest of the week. Happy Monday. So Cosmo Scary, thank you for joining. Disney cast member, I wish you a great week. Sunshine After Rain, Anonymous Dude 123, Otto, Dino, thank you very much. Sally, as always. The Swan, thank you. Denise. Oh, just in time, my gimbal died. Just in time for this Twitch stream. Judy D, thank you. Anonymous Dude, Lifestyle with Chef. Dutchman. It's Just Camera, appreciate it. Judy D, Toshi, The Swan, Michelle McGraw, Ruby Falcone, Out and About, the one and only, War Walker, NNB 045, Kim Grant, and everybody else who's watching the stream. I appreciate it. Make it a great week. Be positive, stay optimistic, because optimists always prevail. Techno Pink, you're the best. Penelope from Tennessee. Blue Liner 1776, appreciate you. Razzle Dazzle, the one and only MRI technologist, fantastic person. Stephen T, and to the mighty Bull, have a good night wherever you are, because there's always a bull market somewhere, and you just need to know where to look. And I'll see everybody right back here tomorrow. Have a good night.